Great bull, that's what Western big game's all about.
We're boned out and loaded up.
Take your kids hunting.
Dropped him right in his tracks.
Welcome to Hunt Forever West. Join our dedicated pro staff for fair chase, big game hunts across the West. High country elk and mule deer, extreme sheep and mountain goats, spot and stock bears, prairie pronghorn, and everything else that makes its home in Hunt Forever West country. Our rules are simple. Pass it on. Hunt like you mean it. Respect the country in your quarry. And fair chase is the only chase. Hunt Forever West. Brought to you by Western Hunter Magazine. Gear, tactics, information, adventure. Kenetrek boots for the trail less traveled. Outdoorsman's gear for the Western hunter. Trophy taker, leading the way on the line and in the field. Weaver rifles. We make impossible shots possible. And Wilderness Athlete. Where's your wilderness? Outdoorsman's Hunt Stats. This week we'll follow Jake and Kate Powell into remote southern Idaho for pronghorn antelope. Jake will have his favorite bow equipped with a trophy taker, shaky hunter rest, and 125 grain Heloc broadheads. They'll be glassing through Zeiss optics and hiking in Kenetrek hard scrabble boots. Southern Idaho is home to some rugged and remote real estate. What looks like barren wasteland is teeming with wildlife. Chukar partridge, valley quail, mule deer, bobcats, bighorn sheep, sage grouse, and pronghorn antelope all make their living in this piece of Hunt Forever West country.
Well, we're out here setting up our blind. It's Saturday. Season opens up on Wednesday. Packing some of our stuff. Gonna take a camp stool. Gonna take some extra water. Just pack it in now, so we don't have to do it while I'm hunting. Just got some extra tent stakes. Some little heavier duty. Withstand the Idaho wind. Because the blind will be up here a couple of days before season. Taking plenty extra Gatorade for the hike. The spot we're going is 2.2 miles from where we're at right now. So it's been about 100 degrees the last week, so it should be fun.
Jake gets the blind loaded on his pack and lets Cade pack the video camera and all the heavy water out to a small seep they found earlier in the year while scouting. Our hunters are planning on spending 3 days in this location, waiting on a mature pronghorn buck. They pack a couple gallons of water that will stay in the blind so they don't have so much weight to pack out when they are hunting. Water is at a premium out here on the hot desert. In my experience, pronghorn does and fawns will water every day, and the mature bucks might only water every 2 or 3 days, even in 100-degree temperatures. With fairly flat, rocky topography that isn't conducive to spot and stock hunting, our hunters try to stack the odds in their favor by putting a blind on a water source and letting the pronghorn come to them.
It's been a really dry year, and so water holes are fairly limited. And one of the problems with do-it-yourself public land hunting is competition from other folks. And today's Saturday. I was in here Thursday scouting and found this water hole. We came back on Saturday to set up our blind, and somebody either yesterday or this morning beat us in here and put up a blind. So we're gonna have to find somewhere else to hunt. And fortunately, I have a couple other holes that we can go check out.
Jake and Cade look at almost 20 other water sources that day, only to find blinds on every one of them. They scrap the idea of hunting opening day. Jake sneaks away from work a week later, makes a mad dash to the desert to make sure the other hunter is gone. The rock blind is gone, so Jake sets up his pop-up. Kate arrives after dark that night, and in the early morning darkness, they hike out to the blind. A big flock of sage grouse are the first guests of the morning coming in for a drink. Several bunches of does, fawns, and young bucks are visitors to the seep this morning. The season has been open for almost 2 weeks, and everything is pretty wound up around the water sources. This fawn couldn't take the heat any longer and was the only pronghorn to actually drink this morning. Another herd with a decent buck worked their way toward the blind. They keep their distance and finally feed out of sight without ever coming to water. At 11 o'clock, a pretty good buck approaches out of Jake's blind spot from the north. After staring holes through the blind for over 15 minutes, his thirst overpowers his wariness and he commits to the seep. This buck is on high alert and won't calm down enough to get a good drink at the hole. Centuries of Native Americans, bobcats, and coyotes using water holes as an ambush location have caused pronghorns to be on high alert every time they approach. This old mature buck has undoubtedly outwitted his fair share of predators looking for an easy meal. Jake, already at full draw, waits for this buck to present a broadside shot.
The shower's back. I don't know. Move your arm, move your arm. Yeah, I got my brother Kate in here with the blind with me with his dumb camera, and he's making lots of noise. He really had that buck spooked, so yeah, he jumped my string. It's totally Kate's fault. You can make all the excuses you want. Well, we had a pretty good buck come in, and I had him about 27 yards, and I screwed up. Jumped right on the top of him. So I think he jumped the string a little bit, but still, I couldn't have missed him by an inch or two. I don't think right on the top of his back. It's one of those things. Hopefully we'll get him next time.
After the miss, our hunters stayed in the blind until after 5 o'clock that evening without another pronghorn approaching the sea. Out of nowhere, Jake might just get his wish as the same buck he missed earlier approaches the blind with a small group of pronghorn. With 4 other sets of eyes, the buck is less apprehensive about coming in for a drink. With Jake and Kate's combined 30 years of ambushing pronghorn, neither can recall a mature buck coming to the same waterhole twice in one day, especially after being shot at earlier.
I can't handle nothing but the truth. That's the least I'll expect from you. Well, baby, no, there were some things.
You can bet Jake is ready to make good when this buck finally presents a broadside shot.
You just dust yourself off and you...
Got him, didn't ya?
A little low.
The buck goes less than 70 yards before the damage inflicted by the T-lock broadhead catches up to this old buck.
Well, I wasn't going to shoot over his back again. I hit him a little low, but
Same freaking buck.
same buck, same day. He's hurting pretty bad, so it won't be long.
Nice buck on your birthday.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad I got a second chance. You can see this crease on his back where I missed him the first shot, and fortunately he came back, so it's not often you get a second chance like that, so I'm just real fortunate and real happy that I was able to make better on my second try.
And what really isn't fair is I was going to be the shooter when this buck came in, and when we saw it was the same buck that he'd missed earlier, and it happened to be his birthday, so I said, all right, buddy, redeem yourself. Jake made a great shot. You know, look at the mass on that thing, about 13 and a half, maybe 14 inches. Beautiful public land, do-it-yourself, Idaho antelope.
Well, I'm about 3 miles from the truck, and it'll probably take me, with this pack, at least an hour, hour and a half. You can see all the rocks we've got to cover, so we'll see you in a couple hours.
Trophy taker, shot of the week. Let's analyze how quick this pronghorn actually jumped Jake's string. This next shot shows the highlighted arrow just creasing the top of his back. When we analyze shot 2 frame by frame, you can actually see the shadow of the arrow pass over the buck's back. We decided to slow it down and place crosshairs where the shadow crosses the buck's back and cut its hair. Point of impact would have been right here. Nothing wrong with Jake's shooting. 27-yard shot, 260 feet per second bow.